Hi, I'm Rides. One of the things that I get asked all the time is how to read Mongoose mid-school serial numbers. I just put together a little video here around how to do that. I've written quite a few blog posts. I've tried to detail it on bmxcatalog.com. Here is my video explanation on how to read Mongoose mid-school serial numbers. So the first thing to note is the serial numbers don't have the model information. The serial number is just that, it's just the serial number of the frame. For Mongoose, they never put any of the model information into their serial number. Now, the serial number also only gives you the year and month of manufacture. This is not the model year. To work out the model year from your serial number, you need to add around 6 to 9 months. And this is the production lead time that it took for manufacturers or for the factory to actually, once they welded the frame, to have it painted, to have it built up, and then obviously shipped out all over the world to bike shops. So there was a 6 to 9 month lead time. So here is the numerical and alphabetical equivalents. Around the early 90s, there were just serial numbers that just had numbers. And usually this number started at the beginning of the serial number. And it would either be a 1, a 2, a 3. And those related directly to 91, 92, 93, and so on and so forth. You then also had serial numbers that were alphabetical. So in 1991, the A stood for 1991. B stood for 1992, C 93, D 94, and so on and so forth up to I 99. Now, with alphabetical serial numbers, there was usually a factory code that went in front of that serial number, which could have been 1 to 4 letters also. So you have to know which years those factory codes went from a single letter to a double letter to a triple letter and into, I think it was after 2000s that they went into 4 letters. Then there's also different month guides. So there was numerical and also alphabetical. So numerical, 01, obviously stands for January, 2, February, and that's pretty simple numbering that you can go from January through to December. However, the alphabetical version, not so easy to figure out, but it is A is January, B is February, C is March, D April, etc., through to L being December. And those are very standard ways of displaying months in a serial number. So here's a couple of examples of those serial numbers. So this is a very early 90s Mongoose BMX. The serial number is stamped underneath the bottom bracket, as with all Mongoose Pro BMXs. So there is no factory code in these early all numerical serial numbers. The first digit, the 1, indicates the year. The second and third digit indicate the month. So this is a 9103 made frame. That is not the model year. That is just the date that frame was welded. And I know, because I know this frame, this is a 1991 Menace. So with this serial number, the 03, if we add 6 to 9 months on top of this, we are still within 1991. So therefore, we can say that it is absolutely a 1991 frame. And it is confirmed with the decal set. So this is an example of a numerical serial number. These were really only 1990, 1991, maybe a couple into 1992, but they then moved from a numerical number, serial number, to an alphabetical serial number. And this is what the alphabetical serial numbers look like. The first two digits here is the factory code. The HY here is a factory code. The third digit, D, is the year. The fourth digit, L, is the month. And all the rest of those 5 numbers there are all just the number of the frame for that month. So again, no information in here around what model this is. But again, I know that this is a DMC, and it is a 1994 made, December made DMC. So D, 1994, L is December. So December 1994 was when it was made. And of course, as with all Taiwanese made frames, we have to add 6 to 9 months to know what model year this sat in. So this was absolutely, without question, a 1995 model DMC. This next one, give you an example, HFFI. First 2 digits are the factory code. The F is for 1996, and the I is for September. The rest of the numbers are just the number of this frame as it came off the line. So this is a 1997 model Mongoose villain. So you can see through the mid-90s, these had 2-digit factory codes. Here's another example. G, 1997, I, September again. Again, HR is the factory code, a different code to HF. This one is HR. So GI, the year this was, or the year and month that this was manufactured. 1997, September. And that makes this a 1998 model Hooligan. And again, we know this because that's what's in the catalogue. Another example here, slightly later. So we've got HQ, that's our factory code. IH is our year and month. So I being for 1999 and H is for August. That makes this a 2000 model Menace Cruiser. Again, know that, it's confirmed. So you can see a very structured serial code. Once you know how to crack it, you can read it every single time. There were some differences. So some of the aluminium frames started with the letter M. This was the factory code. Then the second digit was the year, so it's an 8. Then we have the third digit, which is a month, which is J. Then we have an I, a 77870. But the year and month always come together. So the month is an I, the month is J, and the year is 8. So this is an October 1998 made frame, adding 6 months onto our October month, we get into 1999. So it's a 1999 model Mongoose Super Goose. This particular one here, MK7H. So we've got a couple of letters here in front of the first number. The M is actually quite difficult to read here, but I do believe that there is an M and then a K. So 7, obviously 1997. H is August, so it's an August 1997 frame. Again, we add 6 to 9 months, takes us into the following year. So it is a 1998 model Super Goose. There are also a couple of slightly different variations on this, different factories making different frames. Here is a 1996 model Menace that starts with ACL 5L. Again, the first number is the year. The next following digit is going to tell you the month. ACL is the factory code, made 1995 December. And we know that it's a 1996 model Menace. Another variation on that, still with the ACL factory, 1996, made in July. So we know that this is a 1997 model Villain. And there we have it. ACL 8G, this is a 1999 model Motivator. And we know that as it's been confirmed. So there were errors made in the factory, of course. So when if you can't read your serial number, perhaps there was a bit of an error in it. And here's some examples of that. The first 2 digits are the factory code. The third digit is the year, but this is missing a month stamp. But I know that it's a 1994 Menace, so it's definitely not B and C being the month and year and month. Definitely C is the year, and it is missing the month, because we know this is a 1994 Menace. Another example, FEG 05987. The E and the G are the year and month. It's a 1996 model Menace, but it's actually missing the H factory code stamp. So some of these things are going to confuse some people. But, once you've kind of seen enough of these serial numbers, it's pretty easy to figure out. Lastly, there are also unknown frames. Like this Mongoose invert. The serial number on this one is AY345896. This is one of the American, what's called a wall goose. So this type of bike was sold in department stores like Walmart. It wasn't sold in bike shops, and they were generally made in either Taiwan or in China. And there is not any way that I can figure out how to read that serial number. There is no rhyme nor reason to it. I have no idea. I don't even know where to start. So the Mongoose Pro bikes were the bikes that were sold in bike shops. The straightforward Mongoose bikes, like you see in this one, were sold in department stores. So it's the Pro bikes that we know how to read the serial numbers of, yet the other Mongoose bikes, it's still hasn't been worked out. So just to recap on those numbers, so you have the numerical system, and you also have the alphabetical system for the years. And then you've also got the numerical system and the alphabetical system for the month. So I hope that this has helped you out. A little bit more of an understanding on how to read your mid-school Mongoose serial numbers. Of course, if you still need some help, jump onto bmxcatalog.com and you'll see it all in there. I've tried to explain it as simply as I can. All right, well, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give us a like and obviously subscribe to the channel. Anyway, thanks very much again. See you next time.